Okay, folks, so today we're going to do a review of a course called Sky Mountain. It's a golf course in Hurricane, Utah. So, number one, I wanted to add some live commentary. So, I have a few clips that I shot on the course. Just a few. I try to minimize them because I think it adds an element of shakiness to the overall video. But when there were some timely things right there, I wanted to go ahead and just put it down. Wanted to say it and kind of give you a feel of the course, what it's really like to be on the course. I thought the greens on this course were in pretty good shape for putting, not necessarily pristine greens and everything. They were all just fine. I mean, obviously there were ball marks here and there, and some various scuffs and stuff. It's a real course. It's got real years on it, and it's not perfect. The greens are not perfect. But I also forgot to say this about the ledges before, which also had some nice greens. I don't know about this trend of switching from one type of grass to bluegrass. I don't know, what the difference is for bent grass versus bluegrass versus Poana. Poana is pretty straightforward. I mean, I think that's the one that looks more like a low cut low cut carpet. Has that carpety feel like somebody's floor mat. And these greens have this interesting feel, which is more like it's literally blades of grass. You can see the blades of grass, but they're all rolled flat, which is not the same thing as I think bent grass, which is what I would consider to be the ideal. It's like playing on a pool table versus playing on I guess, artificial AstroTurf, right? So these greens have more of that AstroTurf feel, but they're still pretty good to putt on, and it doesn't have the course doesn't have that big overall change from front to back where the greens suddenly become much more sloped and much harder to putt and stuff like that, like they had at Copper Rock, which I think was the main standout feature of Copper Rock, is that not only were the greens slow, but on the backside they suddenly became easily twice as difficult to putt. And this course was not that like that. I think that this course overall was a very modest, mellow course, but also still tough enough to be a challenge. No, there wasn't. It definitely was not a walkover kind of course. The scenery was nice, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily, idyllic, ideal or idyllic. It was in a lot of places. It just looks like a bunch of dirt mountains out there, and in some places it's nice and so on. And overall in southern Utah, northern Arizona, and in pretty much year round, it's relatively clear blue skies. Sometimes in the winter you get overcast days, and every now and then in the winter you see some rain. But in the spring and summer in this part of the country, it's just generally gorgeous all the time. But I was wrong. It bears left towards the short hole. It was like maybe 285, and luckily my drive did not go off into that waste way over there. Stop right by that tree, so we're going to drop here for two. So you have an advantage here in that the weather is almost always conducive to playing golf. Maybe sometime in the summer it gets hot. Like the last two rounds I played, it was 9,500 degrees. But it's more like, people say it's a dry heat. It's not quite a dry heat. It's like being roasted at a low temperature for hours. We're going to put a little bit of video in here just for the hell of it, just in case. So the tee box for number 3 is down just in front of that tan house with the 4 pillars on the left. Okay, you play down here, down this fairway down here, and it goes to the left. It's a gentle curve to the left, comes to this green here. That's number 3 green. That's about 300 yards at the most. And we're going to turn around back. That's number 6 there going out. And this is number 4. There's no sign there that says number 4 is on the right, number 6 is on the left. Let's look at the GPS.
follow that. But number 4 is on the right here, heading straight to that house.
So the point is, it's very different temperature and weather from Central California. Okay, where in Central California, almost always the weather is like 75 at the most, and your problem is, and the sun comes out. Yeah, it does start to bake you, but you don't get this broiled kind of feeling that you get when you're playing in like southern Utah, in the mountains here, and it's literally like being under a broiler. The sun's hot, the weather's hot, everything's hot, but it's not like really bad. It's a comfortable warm from somebody from the southeastern United States. Grew up in the DC area, grew up in Virginia. You get used to this kind of weather. You like having a little bit of heat going on, and it's fine to play in for me. I don't have a problem with it, but you just have to make sure you drink something. You get out there and you don't drink any water, any beer, anything, you will go dehydrated really quick, and your head starts getting light and all this kind of stuff. At least mine does. So it's a very different type of golf where it's fine for a couple of hours, and then right around like the 8th hole, things start getting a little bit surreal, and you have to drink when that starts to happen, or you're going to be in just getting worse and worse, more and more trouble as things go on. And of course, the round will become surreal as well. And I just think that this course is both aesthetically pleasing enough and challenging enough, but also tight. And this is real desert golf where you're playing and there's the fairway and the rough and the car path and the greens and stuff, and then everything else is this sand. This course also has these big black rocks which are weird off in the sand waste, and it's just a lot of sand and a lot of sagebush type stuff, and it gets very tight very quickly. And the main problem with it is it's not just that there's waste there, but if you're, good enough, you don't really hit into the waist as much as you lose sight of the ball when it gets like 200 yards out. You can't see it because, it's this tiny ball against all this other crap going on in the waist. And, you get older and your eyesight starts to go off, and it's a little bit, of a challenge to play in a course like this just because you have trouble seeing the ball, period, as it gets out to the extent of your shot, unless it lands literally in the fairway in play, and even then it still can get lost in little ball and all that grass. So I want to say that this course is ideal to play, and an ideal challenge in a lot of ways, and an ideal place to play golf. It's in here. It doesn't mean you have to go out to St. George to play, or maybe if you're in St. George that's the problem, because then you have to come to Hurricane. That's another half an hour, 45-minute drive. But it's an awesome course.
You're sitting now in that guy's corner where that OB stake is right there. So it's maybe 20 feet off.
As long as you don't mind playing a course that has a lot of houses. This course takes some, I would say, some getting used to in a general sense before you can really enjoy playing it. Because from the second hole tee shot, and then going back in the 4th hole, and 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, all the way around the back side, pretty much, there's houses just right there on at least one side of the course. There's houses. Some of the fairways have houses on one side and buildings on the other. There's some construction running around, so there's this beeping of backhoes and trucks and stuff, and there's people talking on their balconies, and it's just a visually and orally busy course in a lot of ways, but it's still mellow enough if you go out there like I do. I'll go out and play during the week just to get away from all the noise and crap that goes on the weekends. To me, limiting yourself to playing golf on the weekends is crazy, it is so much better to play during the week. I will happily take time off to go play during the week. So I want to give this course a really high grade, like an A minus or something, maybe even an A. As a desert course, it is kind of hard to beat. I can think of some courses that would be maybe better or worse, depending on how you look at it, which I have in mind to play before I leave this area. But you have to be able to handle the housing and people talking around the course. And that's when it's quite enough where even like there's the fact that there's another cart and maybe somebody else even playing or somebody in the driving range intrudes upon the overall ambiance of the course.
All right, folks, so this is number 17 at Sky Mountain. There's your course map right there. It's a slight crescent right, 366. So here we go. We start off back here. The blue tees back there in the corner, the little fencing is. I'm trying to make this as stable as possible, okay? And we're going to get up here and take a look down the fairway. Remember, it's a crescent right, 366. Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's not down there. It's way over there. Sorry. 366 to that green. So you're saying we have a chance?
So as you can see, it's a relatively flat course, but still not flat. It's relatively tight, but still not too tight. It's a good medium, enjoyable course. So overall, I think the important thing to understand here is that this course gives you a good cross section of what a good course has, especially a good urban course.
So if you look closely, you can see the Cisco Kid, the Lone Ranger, and Tonto down there. I mean, good grief. So this is 18 playing into the sun almost. Definitely into the wind. Wind is blowing across that canyon, of course. And it's 464. Back to the pin, you can see it way down there, just right of the cart path.
Housing development with the golf course in the middle gives you a good representation of that. It's not too easy, not too hard, not too vertical, not too flat, not too wide, not too tight, not too easy, and not too challenging. It's a slope 127 course from the back tees. And I'm just saying, playing the back tees makes this course come alive. If you're playing the forward tees where a lot of the carries are taken out or simplified or stuff like that, and I remember walking to my car, or I was having a drink at the clubhouse, out in the balcony behind the clubhouse, and there were these two guys riding up in a cart, and they were talking about how great of a score they shot. Because like, you shot really well, and I shot really well, but it's amazing that you shot, like an 81, and then you shot a 76, which was even more cool, and all this kind of stuff. And all they could talk about, they're coming off the course, all they could talk about was how well they scored. And I just couldn't imagine what tees they played other than the white tees. And it's just amazing to come off this course and all you can think about is how well you scored, giving the visuals, the challenge of playing the course, the opportunity to be out on a beautiful day like that, like the day was that I played. And it's just amazing that people are so wound up in score that that's all they can talk about. And everything else just gets lost under that, which I think was just a travesty about playing this course. It's a really good course. It's one of the few courses I would say in the area that you really should play if you come to this area. It was just that good of a course. And there are definitely other good courses in the area that I played. There's no question that I can think of 3 or 4 other courses that I would recommend to play in the St. George area. But very few of them I would say you definitely should play, because this course encapsulates just about everything that's good about golf, just about everything. And it really is I would say a shorting of your own experience as a golfer to not play this course. That's What is it called? Oh, I forgot. Sky Mountain Golf Course in Hurricane, Utah. This is approximately half an hour to 45 minutes east of Route 15, and the main part of St. George where the golf courses are. It is a really nice course and definitely worth the trouble. I would definitely give this course a B plus at least. At least.